The numbers glared back at me from my phone screen, 0.0. I blinked hard, refreshed the banking app, and checked again. Still 0. The surgery fund my family had been building for 5 years, $50,000 meant to keep me alive, had vanished. My name is Olivia, and I was about to learn exactly how much my life was worth to my family. "Mom," I called out, my voice shakier than I wanted it to be. "Can you come here for a minute?" I heard her heels clicking across the hardwood floor before she appeared in my doorway, already looking annoyed. "What is it?" "I'm running late for book club." "The surgery fund," I said, turning my phone screen toward her. "It's empty." Her face didn't register surprise. That's when I knew. "Oh, that." She waved her hand dismissively. "Garrett needed it for a temporary business investment. He'll double it within a month, don't worry." The room started spinning. "He what?" "Don't be dramatic, Olivia. Your brother knows what he's doing. He's got major investors lined up." "You let him take my surgery money?" My voice cracked. "Without even asking me?" "It's a family decision," she said, checking her watch. "Your father and I agreed it was the right move. The specialists said you could wait another year anyway." I gripped my bedsheet so hard my knuckles turned white. "Where's Garrett?" "In his office, but don't—" I was already pushing past her, ignoring the familiar ache in my joints as I stormed down the hallway. I didn't bother knocking. Garrett spun around in his chair, that trademark golden boy smile faltering when he saw my face. "Hey, sis, everything okay?" "The fund," I said. "What did you do with it?" He leaned back, all casual confidence. "Just a temporary thing. I've got this huge deal coming through." "Cut the bullshit. Where's the money?" "Look." He stood up, hands raised placatingly. "There was this opportunity I couldn't pass up. High-stakes poker game, private table. My contact swore it was a sure thing." "You gambled my surgery money?" "Invested," he corrected. "And yeah, it didn't go as planned, but I've got another angle. 2 months tops, I'll have it all back, plus more." Dad appeared in the doorway, probably drawn by our voices. "What's going on?" "Tell him," I said to Garrett. "Tell him what you did with the money." "Martin," Mom rushed in behind him. "I was just explaining to Olivia about the temporary arrangement." "Temporary arrangement?" I laughed, a harsh sound. "He lost it all gambling." "Now hold on." Dad raised his hands. "Garrett assured us this was a legitimate business venture." "And you believed him? Again?" "Watch your tone," Mom snapped. "Your brother is trying to help this family." "Help?" I pulled out my phone, fingers shaking as I opened my medical records. "My condition is getting worse. The specialist said if we wait too long—" "You always make everything so dramatic," Garrett interrupted. "A year won't kill you." The room went silent. I stared at my brother, my parents' precious firstborn, their golden child, and something inside me finally snapped. "You're right," I said quietly. "A year won't kill me. You're doing that just fine on your own." "Olivia," Mom gasped. "I need some air," I muttered, pushing past them. "Don't be like this," Garrett called after me. "Come on, we're family." I slammed the front door behind me, but not before hearing Mom's voice. "Just let her go. She'll calm down eventually. She always does." They were right about that. I always had before. The quiet one, the sick one, the burden they had to deal with. Poor little Olivia, always making a fuss about her health while perfect Garrett chased his dreams. But they didn't know about the recording I'd made 3 weeks ago. The one where Garrett bragged to his poker buddies about how easy it was to manipulate his investors, how he could always count on family money to cover his losses. Back in my apartment that evening, I opened my laptop and created a new email draft. The subject line read, "Confidential regarding Garrett Ross." My hands weren't shaking anymore. For the first time in years, I felt perfectly steady. They wanted the quiet daughter. Fine. They'd see just how quietly I could destroy everything they'd built to protect him. I clicked Save Draft and smiled. Sometimes the sickest person in the room isn't the one with the medical condition. Growing up, my bedroom window faced Garrett's trophy wall. Every morning I'd wake up to the glint of gold medals and plaques celebrating his achievements. Meanwhile, my wall displayed a medical chart tracking my vital signs. "Your brother's special," Mom would say whenever I questioned the disparity. "He's going places." I was going places too, mainly to hospitals. Now, sitting in my tiny apartment, I scrolled through years of family photos on my phone. Each one told the same story: Garrett center stage, me pushed to the edges. Even at my high school graduation, which I'd attended against doctor's orders, the family photos showed them clustered around him as he announced his first startup. My phone buzzed, a text from Jillian. "You okay? Haven't heard from you since yesterday." "I'm fine," I typed back, "just processing things." "Mom's worried," I snorted. "About me or about Garrett?" "Don't be like that." "Like what? Accurate?" She didn't respond. I opened my laptop and pulled up Dad's email from 6 months ago. I'd kept it as proof of his promise to never touch the surgery fund without my consent. Now I noticed something I'd missed before. He'd CC'd Garrett on it. My phone rang, unknown number. "Hello? Is this Olivia?" A woman's voice, confident and sharp. "This is Delilah Hart." My heart skipped. Garrett's ex-girlfriend and former business partner. "Yes," I said carefully. "How did you—" "Your sister gave me your number. Said you might want to talk." I sat up straighter. "About Garrett?" "About everything." She paused. "Look, I'm at the Coffee Bean on 5th. Can you meet me?" 30 minutes later, I slid into a booth across from a woman who looked like she ate corporate sharks for breakfast. "So," Delilah stirred her coffee, "your brother finally screwed you over too. You sound unsurprised." "Honey, Garrett's been running the same game for years. Family money, investor money, it all goes to the same place." "The poker table?" She nodded. "Among other things. But here's what you probably don't know. Your dad's been covering for him way longer than anyone realizes." My stomach dropped. "What do you mean?" She pulled out her phone, scrolled briefly, then turned it toward me. Bank statements, dozens of them. "Your father gave Garrett access to your fund months ago," she said quietly. "He never actually stole anything. They handed it to him." The coffee turned bitter in my mouth. "How did you get these?" "I was his business partner, remember? I saw everything before I got out, including this." She showed me another document. "Recognize that signature?" I leaned closer. It was mine, except I'd never signed it. "That's a medical loan application from last year," Delilah explained. "Garrett forged your signature, used the money to pay off some gambling debts." The room started spinning again, but differently this time. Not with shock, with rage. "Why are you showing me this?" Delilah's smile was razor sharp. "Because I've been waiting for someone in your family to finally see him for what he is. And because—" Her phone buzzed. She glanced at it and smiled. Perfect timing. "That's Xander Cooper." "The investor?" "Garrett's biggest fish yet. He's been getting suspicious about some inconsistencies in the reports. Asked me to look into it, given our history." My phone buzzed. A voicemail notification from an unknown number. "Play it," Delilah suggested. I put it on speaker. "Mr. Ross, this is Xander Cooper. There seem to be some discrepancies in your latest proposal. My team has flagged several concerning patterns. I expect a full explanation by tomorrow, or we'll need to reevaluate our arrangement." Delilah's smile widened. "Sounds like your brother's house of cards is getting shaky. What exactly are you suggesting?" "I'm not suggesting anything. I'm offering you ammunition." She stood up, dropping a business card on the table. "Call me when you're ready to use it." I watched her leave, then looked down at the card. Behind it was a receipt for my coffee. She'd already paid for it. My phone buzzed again. "Mom, family dinner tonight. Your brother needs our support right now." Of course he did. He always did. I picked up Delilah's card and typed her number into my phone. Then I pulled up that draft email from yesterday and started typing. Dear Mr. Cooper, regarding your concerns about Garrett Ross's business practices, there's something you should know. Sometimes the best revenge doesn't need to be loud. Sometimes it just needs to be true. You're getting really good at this, Delilah said, reviewing the dossier we'd compiled. Almost scary good. We sat in her home office surrounded by printed screenshots, bank statements, and transcripts. 3 days of meticulous work spread across her desk. It's amazing what people say when they think no one's keeping receipts, I replied, adding another printed email to the pile. Speaking of receipts, Delilah tapped her laptop, your brother just tried to raise another $100,000 from the Thompson Group, use the same pitch he gave Xander. Bold move for someone already under scrutiny. Bold isn't the word I'd use, she smirked. How's the family dinner plan coming along? I checked my phone. Mom's insisting on celebrating his birthday early, says we need to come together as a family right now. Perfect timing. My phone buzzed. Jillian, can we talk? Alone? I need to go, I told Delilah. My sister wants to meet. The wild card, Delilah mused. Be careful. I found Jillian at our old playground, sitting on the swings like we used to as kids. She looked tired. I'm sorry, she said as I sat on the swing next to her. About everything. Are you? You don't understand. She dug her feet into the wood chips. It's not just about you. Garrett's been doing this for years. I know. No, you don't. She reached into her bag and pulled out a USB drive. Remember when I had to quit art school? It wasn't just because of money. He'd taken out loans in my name, said he'd pay them back before anyone noticed. My swing stopped mid-motion. What? Mom and Dad covered it up, paid it off, told me it was better for everyone if I just let it go. She held out the USB, but I kept everything, every document, every threat, every tearful family meeting where they convinced me to stay quiet. I took the drive. Why are you showing me this now? Because I saw your face when you found out about the surgery fund. It was the same face I had 3 years ago. She finally looked at me. And because I'm tired of pretending we're the crazy ones. Back home, I plugged in the USB. Jillian's files were organized by date, going back 5 years. Each folder was a new betrayal, meticulously documented. My phone rang. Mum. Don't forget, dinner's at 7 tomorrow, she said without preamble. Wear something nice. Your brother has an announcement. I'll be there. And Olivia, try to be supportive. He's under a lot of pressure. I looked at my screen, at the folder marked Garrett's Promises. Don't worry, Mom, I'll give him exactly what he deserves. The next evening, I arrived at my parents' house wearing my best dress and my brightest smile. Garrett was already holding court in the living room. There's my favorite sister, he called out, arms wide. I thought Jillian was your favorite, I said, accepting his hug while slipping my phone into his jacket pocket on silent mode. You're both my favorites, he laughed. Hey, about that thing last week. No hard feelings, right? Business is looking up. I'll have everything sorted soon. Of course, I smiled. Water under the bridge. Mom beamed. See? I knew you'd understand. We gathered around the dining table, Garrett at the head like always. He clinked his glass. I want to thank everyone for coming tonight, he started. Especially Olivia. I know things have been tense, but family always comes first, right? My phone vibrated in my purse. The signal that his phone had successfully synced to my laptop upstairs, downloading everything. To family, I raised my glass, catching Jillian's eye across the table. And, Garrett continued, I have amazing news. The Thompson Group is about to... His phone rang. He checked it, frowned, then excused himself. I counted the seconds. 3, 2, 1... What do you mean, evidence of fraud? His voice carried from the hallway. That's impossible. Who sent... No, Mr. Thompson. I can explain. Mom's fork clattered against her plate. What's happening? Dad stood up. I took another sip of wine. I think Garrett's about to learn something about karma. Jillian's hand found mine under the table and squeezed. Above us, my laptop continued downloading every email, text, and document from Garrett's phone. Sometimes revenge doesn't need to be loud. Sometimes it just needs to be thorough. And I was just getting started. The sound of breaking glass echoed through the house. Garrett had locked himself in his office after the phone call, but the walls couldn't muffle his meltdown. "Should someone check on him?" Dad asked, pacing the living room. Mom wrung her hands. "He just needs time to process. I'm sure it's all a misunderstanding." Another crash. Jillian flinched. "Some misunderstanding," I muttered, loud enough for them to hear. "This isn't helping, Olivia," Mom snapped. "Your brother is in crisis. My brother is in trouble because he committed fraud. Don't use that word." She looked around like the FBI might be hiding behind the curtains. Garrett's office door flew open. He looked wild, tie askew, hair standing up where he'd been running his hands through it. "It's over," he said, voice hollow. "Thompson's lawyers are involved. They're talking about an audit." Mom rushed to him. "We'll figure something out, we always do." "Not this time." He looked straight at me. "Someone sent them everything. Bank records, emails, recordings." "Recordings?" Dad's face went pale. "Of me, at the poker games. Talking about—" He swallowed hard. "About how I move money around." "Who would do such a thing?" Mum demanded. I kept my face carefully neutral, but Garrett's eyes narrowed. "You," he whispered. "It was you." "Prove it." He lunged forward, but Jillian stepped between us. "Don't." "You ruined everything," he shouted over her shoulder. "Years of work destroyed because you couldn't wait a few months for your stupid surgery." "Garrett!" Dad's voice cracked like a whip. "That's enough." "No, it's not enough." He spun toward our father. Tell them what you did." The room went silent. Dad's face drained of color. "Martin?" Mom's voice was uncertain. "What is he talking about?" Dad sank into his armchair. "I've been helping him. Monthly loans, covering margins. I thought I could keep it contained." "How long?" Mom whispered. 3 years, maybe 4. "Jesus Christ," Jillian breathed. "I had to." Dad's voice rose defensively. "He needed help and I'm his father." "And what am I?" I asked quietly. "Because you're my father too, but you gave him my surgery fund. He promised he'd replace it. Like he promised to pay back Jillian's art school money?" Mom's head snapped up. "What?" Jillian stepped forward. "The real reason I quit school. Garrett took out loans in my name. Dad paid them off to keep it quiet." "I did it for the family," Dad shouted. "No," I said. "You did it for him. There's a difference." Garrett slumped against the wall. "They're freezing my accounts. All of them." "We'll remortgage the house," Mom said immediately. "They'll trace that too," Jillian pointed out. "Any large transfers will look suspicious now." "This is all your fault," Mom hissed at me. "If you just kept quiet." "If I'd just died quietly, you mean? Don't be dramatic." "Dramatic?" I laughed. "I have the medical records, Mom, the specialist reports. The ones saying if I wait too long, the surgery might not even help anymore. But sure, I'm being dramatic." "We can fix this," Dad said, but his voice shook. "We just need to think." "Think about what?" I asked. "How to protect Garrett again? How to sweep this under the rug like you did with Jillian? Like you've done my entire life?" My phone buzzed. A text from Delilah. "Xander's team found the forged medical loan. They're adding it to the case." I smiled. "Actually, it's too late to think about anything." "What did you do?" Garrett's voice was deadly quiet. "Me? Nothing. But karma. Karma's been taking notes all these years, and now it's calling in every debt. You little—" He started toward me again, but this time Dad caught his arm. "Don't make it worse," Dad warned. "Worse?" Garrett laughed hysterically. "I'm about to lose everything and you're worried about making it worse?" "No," I said, heading for the door. "You already lost everything. You just didn't notice because you were too busy spending it. Olivia, please, Mom called after me. We're family. I paused in the doorway. Funny how that only matters when he needs something. Outside, the night air felt clean, purifying. My phone buzzed again. Jillian, coming over later. We need to talk. One last text came through as I reached my car, this one from an unknown number. Ms. Ross, this is Xander Cooper's office. We'd like to discuss your brother's case. Please call us at your earliest convenience. I started the engine, watching my family's shadows move behind the living room curtains. They'd spend all night trying to save Garrett, just like always. But this time, there'd be no salvation, only consequences. You need to eat something, Samantha said, pushing a plate of toast across her kitchen counter. Revenge is exhausting work. I'd met Samantha at a chronic illness support group years ago. Now she was both my friend and my unofficial legal advisor. Her apartment had become my sanctuary over the past week. I'm not hungry, I said, staring at my phone. 27 missed calls from Mom. Eat anyway. You have a meeting with Xander's team in 2 hours. The toast tasted like cardboard, but I forced it down. What if I'm taking this too far? Are you having doubts? No, maybe. I don't know. My phone buzzed again. This time it was Jillian. Mom's on her way to your apartment. She's pretty worked up. Perfect, I muttered. Just perfect. Go, Samantha said. Face her. You're stronger than you think. I made it home just as Mom was pulling into my parking spot. She got out of her car, designer handbag clutched like a shield. We need to talk, she announced, following me inside. About what? How Garrett's doing? How this is all my fault? Don't take that tone with me. She paced my small kitchen. Do you have any idea what you've done? Your father might lose his job if this gets out. We could lose the house. And I could lose my life without that surgery. Oh, please. She waved dismissively. The doctor said you have time. Some time, maybe, if I'm lucky. I leaned against the counter. But Garrett needed the money now, right? He's building something important. His company could change everything for this family. His company is a fraud, Mom, just like everything else about him. How dare you? She slammed her hand on the counter. After everything we've sacrificed for you, for me, I laughed. Name one thing you've sacrificed for me. The medical bills, the specialists, the endless appointments. Basic parental responsibilities aren't sacrifices. But you know what is? Jillian giving up her dreams, Dad risking his retirement, all of it to cover for Garrett's gambling. He's not gambling, he's... Stop lying, my voice cracked. Just stop. I have proof of everything. The poker games, the forged documents, the stolen investor funds. It's over. She sank into a kitchen chair. You'll thank us one day. When Garrett's company finally succeeds, it's never going to succeed. He's being investigated for fraud, actual criminal fraud. Then take it back, she pleaded. Tell them you made a mistake. Like you told me to mistake my pain for drama? To mistake his theft for investment? I'm your mother. No, I said quietly. You're his mother. I'm just the inconvenience you had to deal with. Her phone rang. She answered it, face paling as she listened. They're freezing our accounts, she whispered after hanging up. All of them. Martin says they're looking into his involvement. I know. Her head snapped up. What do you mean, you know? I told them everything, Mom. About Dad giving Garrett access to my fund, about the cover-ups, all of it. You'd destroy your own family? You destroyed it first. I'm just making sure everyone pays their fair share. She stood up, hands shaking. I don't even know who you are anymore. I'm exactly who you made me, I said. Someone who learned that family means nothing when Garrett needs saving. He's your brother, and I'm your daughter. Funny how that never seemed to matter. She walked to the door, then turned back. When this is all over, don't expect us to forgive you. Don't worry, I smiled. I stopped expecting anything from you a long time ago. After she left, I checked my phone. A text from Delilah. Xander's team is ready. You sure about this? Another from Samantha. Remember, you're not the villain here. You're just the first one brave enough to tell the truth. And finally, one from Jillian. Mom just called crying. I'm still with you, sis, all the way. I looked at my reflection in the window. Mom was right about one thing. I wasn't the same person anymore. That quiet, compliant daughter died the day they stole her chance at healing. In her place stood someone stronger. Someone who understood that sometimes the greatest act of self-love is making sure everyone pays their debts. My phone buzzed one last time. Xander's office. Meeting in 30 minutes, bringing our full legal team. I grabbed my keys and the file of evidence I'd compiled. Time to show them exactly what happens when you mistake someone's silence for weakness. The pounding on my door started at 2 a.m. I knew it was Garrett before I even checked the peephole. I could smell the whiskey from inside. Open the door, he slurred. We need to talk. I pressed record on my phone before opening up. Garrett stumbled in, his expensive suit wrinkled, tie missing. Look what you did, he gestured wildly. Are you happy now? You're drunk, and you're a backstabbing little snake. He dropped onto my couch. They're saying 5 years. 5 years if they can prove intent. Sounds like they already have. He laughed, a hollow sound. You know what's funny? I actually thought I could fix it. All of it. One big win, that's all I needed. Is that what you told yourself when you took my surgery money? The surgery, he sneered. Always about the surgery. Do you even want to live? Or do you just like playing the victim? The slap echoed through my apartment before I even realized I'd moved. Garrett touched his cheek, looking shocked. Don't you dare, I whispered. Don't you dare make this about me being dramatic. You stole my chance to get better. I was trying to help the family. By gambling? By fraud? By making something of myself. He stood up, swaying. Do you know what it's like? Being the one everyone expects to succeed? Poor Garrett, I said. So burdened by all that support and privilege. You don't understand. No, you don't understand. I worked 3 jobs with a chronic illness to help build that surgery fund. I skipped college to save money. While you were playing poker with investor funds, I was counting pills and tracking symptoms. I never meant to get caught, I finished. That's the only thing you never meant to do. He fell back onto the couch, head in his hands. Please, you have to help me. Tell them you made a mistake. Like you made a mistake with Jillian's loans or Dad's retirement fund? I'm your brother, and I'm your sister. Funny how that only matters when you need something. My phone buzzed. Delilah. Xander found the offshore accounts. It's worse than we thought. Garrett saw the message preview and lunged for my phone. I stepped back. You're working with Delilah. His face contorted. That bitch never understood business. She understood enough to keep records. He dropped to his knees, grabbing my hands. Please, Olivia. I'll do anything. I'll get your money back. I'll find a way. Like you found a way to forge my signature on that medical loan? He went still. How did you? I know everything, Garrett. Every lie, every theft, every time Mom and Dad covered for you. I pulled my hands away. It's over. They'll send me to prison. Probably. Mom and Dad will lose everything. They already did. They lost it backing you. He stood up suddenly, face dark. You probably think you're so clever, the sick little sister, finally getting her revenge. This isn't revenge, I said quietly. This is consequences. You're just not used to facing them. You smug little... He moved toward me, fist raised. Try it, I said, holding up my phone. I've been recording since you arrived. Give me a reason to add assault to the charges. He froze, then deflated completely. I'll be ruined. Now you know how it feels. My phone buzzed again. Jillian. Police just left our house. Dad's being questioned tomorrow. Garrett saw the message and laughed bitterly. Congratulations, you've destroyed the whole family. No, I opened my door. You did that. I'm just making sure everyone knows it. You'll regret this, he said, stumbling toward the exit. When you're alone and dying, you'll regret it. I'm not dying, Garrett. Not anymore. I smiled. Delilah's friends at the private clinic found me a surgery slot. Turns out karma works both ways. The door closed behind him. I listened to his uneven footsteps fade down the hallway, then called Samantha. He just left, I said. Drunk, threatening. I recorded everything. Good, she replied. Send it to Xander's team. And Olivia, you did the right thing. Then why does it hurt? Because you're nothing like him. That's why you'll heal, and he never will. I sent the recording, then looked at the family photo still hanging on my wall. Time to take it down. Some things needed to end for others to begin. My phone lit up one last time. The clinic. Surgery scheduled for next month. Payment received from anonymous donor. I smiled, knowing exactly which former business partner had made that arrangement. Sometimes karma needs a little help evening the score. He's trying to run, Delilah announced, bursting into my hospital room. Xander's team caught him trying to access one of his hidden accounts. I was 3 days post-surgery, still groggy but healing. Jillian looked up from where she'd been reading beside my bed. When? She asked. This morning? They've frozen everything now. Delilah checked her phone, including Mom's secret mortgage attempt. I shifted carefully against my pillows. She actually tried it? Behind Dad's back, yeah, would have lost the house within months. A nurse poked her head in. Ms. Ross, your mother's here again. Not today, Jillian said firmly. Doctor's orders. We waited until the nurse left before Delilah continued. Your father's cooperating with the investigation. Full confession about his involvement. And Mom, still in denial, keeps telling everyone it's all a misunderstanding. My phone lit up with a text. Samantha. Turn on the news. Channel 7. Jillian grabbed the remote and flipped to the local station. There was Garrett being led out of his office in handcuffs. Breaking news, the reporter announced. Local entrepreneur arrested for investor fraud and embezzlement. Sources say the investigation began after evidence was provided by family members. Holy shit, Jillian whispered. I watched my brother's face on screen. No more confident smile, no more golden boy charm, just a man who'd finally run out of second chances. They're saying 3 to 5 years, Delilah said quietly. Maybe more, depending on what they find in those offshore accounts. Another text from Samantha. Your parents' house is being searched right now. Jillian's phone rang. Mom. Don't answer it, I said. I have to. She stepped into the hallway. Delilah took her seat. How are you feeling? Better, stronger. I touched my surgical site gently. The doctor says it worked. Good, because there's something else you should know. She hesitated. Xander wasn't just looking to bust Garrett. He was waiting for an excuse. What do you mean? Garrett had dirt on some of Xander's less legal ventures. Was using it as leverage. You didn't just expose your brother, you gave Xander a way to neutralize a threat. I absorbed this. So I was just a convenient weapon? You were the match that lit the fuse. But the bomb? That was all Garrett's making. Jillian returned, face pale. Mom's on her way. She's not good. Security's been notified, the nurse said from the doorway. They won't let her up. 20 minutes later, we heard the commotion downstairs. Mom's voice carried through the building. That's my daughter. I have a right to see her. My phone buzzed. A text from Dad. I'm sorry for everything. I know it's too late, but I'm sorry. Ms. Ross? A detective stood in my doorway. We need to ask you a few more questions about the forged medical loan. Now? Jillian protested. She just had surgery. It's okay, I said. I'm feeling strong enough. The detective sat down, notebook ready. We found something interesting in your brother's office. A letter addressed to you, never sent. Would you like to read it? I shook my head. Some things don't need to be read to be understood. More commotion from downstairs. Then silence. They're escorting her out, Delilah reported, checking her phone. She tried to make a scene in the lobby. Classic mom, Jillian muttered. The detective cleared his throat. About the loan. I have everything documented, I said. Every forged signature, every transferred amount. But you might want to ask my father about his part in it. We already have. He stood up. Thank you for your cooperation, and for what it's worth, you did the right thing. After he left, Jillian took my hand. You know they'll never forgive us. Some things aren't meant to be forgiven, I replied. Some things are just meant to be finished. My phone lit up one last time. A news alert. Local families fall from grace, a story of fraud, betrayal, and justice. Delilah read it over my shoulder. Want me to have them kill the story? No, I said. Let them run it. Some truths need to be heard. Through my window, I could see Mom's car being towed from the emergency lane. Dad's confession would be official by morning. Garrett was already in custody. You protected him, I whispered to the fading daylight. So now you'll fall with him. Jillian squeezed my hand. What happens now? I looked at my surgical site, at the promise of healing it represented. Now we learn how to live without their poison in our veins. Outside, sirens faded into the distance, carrying away the last pieces of my family's perfect facade. Sometimes karma doesn't just balance the scales, it shatters them completely, and I was finally okay with that. The last box, Jillian announced, setting it down in my new apartment. You're officially moved in. Sunlight streamed through floor-to-ceiling windows, illuminating a space that was all mine. No family photos, no guilt-laden memories, no echoes of Garrett's voice down the hall. It's perfect, I said, running my hand along the smooth kitchen counter. My phone buzzed. Samantha, Garrett's sentencing is tomorrow. You sure you don't want to be there? No need, I typed back. The verdict speaks for itself. Delilah arrived with lunch, spreading takeout containers across my new dining table. Have you seen the news? Your mother's interview is going viral. Let me guess. She's still claiming it's all a misunderstanding? Actually, no. Delilah pulled up the video. Watch. There was Mom, perfectly coiffed as always, but something was different. The steel in her spine had rusted. I failed them, she said to the reporter. All of them. I protected one child so much that I destroyed the others. And now... She looked directly at the camera. Now I've lost them all. I turned it off. Too little. Too late. Dad called this morning, Jillian said quietly. The house is being sold to pay restitution. Where will they go? Mom's sister offered them her guest house, temporary until they figure things out. My phone lit up again, a text from Dad. The doctors say your latest tests look good. The surgery worked. I know I have no right to be happy about that, but I am. I deleted it without responding. Speaking of good news, Delilah pulled out an envelope. Xander wanted you to have this. Inside was a check. My surgery fund, doubled. He says it's compensation for helping expose the fraud, Delilah explained. But really, I think he respects what you did. Standing up to family isn't easy. Neither is letting them fall, I said. A knock at the door made us all jump. Through the peephole, I saw a courier. Delivery for Olivia Ross? I signed for the package. Inside was a single envelope, prison postmark clear on the front. Garrett, Jillian breathed. There's something else, the courier said, bringing in a large flat package. I opened it first and froze. It was my old medical chart from childhood, the one that had hung opposite Garrett's trophy wall. But attached to it was a drawing I'd made when I was 7, stick figures of Garrett and me, holding hands with the words "best brother ever" in crayon. My hands shook as I opened his letter. Olivia, they say we have time to think in here. I've been thinking about that drawing you made. Remember how I hung it next to my first trophy? It stayed there for years until my wins became more important than your love. I destroyed us, not you, not your revenge. Every choice I made, every lie I told, every time I put myself first. I was dismantling our family piece by piece. Don't read this as an attempt at reconciliation. Some things can't be fixed. Some trust can't be rebuilt. I understand that now. I just wanted you to know you weren't wrong about any of it. And I'm glad the surgery worked. Live well, little sister. Live better than I did. Garrett. I handed the letter to Jillian without a word. Are you okay? Delilah asked softly. I'm not sure. I walked to my windows, looking out at the city below. I thought revenge would feel more final. Maybe because it wasn't really about revenge, Jillian said, finishing the letter. It was about survival. My phone buzzed one last time, a message from an unknown number. This is Anne, your mother. I know you won't answer my calls, but I need you to know something. You were never the sick one. We were. And I'm so sorry we made you prove it. I placed the childhood drawing on my windowsill, letting the sun illuminate those innocent stick figures. What now? Jillian asked. Now? I touched my healing surgical site. Now we learn who we are without their shadows over us. Together? She held out her hand. Together. Delilah raised her takeout container like a toast. To new beginnings. No, I said, taking Jillian's hand. To truth, however much it costs. Outside, the city hummed with life and possibility. Inside, in this space that was mine alone, I finally felt something I'd never expected. Peace. Not because I'd won, not because they'd lost, but because for the first time in my life, I was breathing air that wasn't thick with lies. Sometimes the happy ending isn't about forgiveness. Sometimes it's about finding the strength to walk away and keep walking.